Hello, this is Deaney. In this video tutorial, we are going to make a giant paper peony, or peony. It's just so hard for me to pronounce. Nevertheless, in this video tutorial, I am actually going to show you how to make like two types. So the first one is like a smaller one, like a 12-inch one, which I used for this paper flower wall installation, and of course this larger one, which is about 18 to 20 inches in diameter. So you can use this as a wall decor, or as a flower for an installation just like what I showed you, or for a paper flower wall itself. For this tutorial though, we are going to focus on the freestanding version. Now, without further ado, let us jump in to our tutorial. Let us start with our components, or the parts of our large paper peony or peony. So we have our petals. So petal 1, 2, and then 3. We have the backing for the petals. The difference, or like the different thing or technique that we're gonna do with our paper peony is that we will be using wires to kind of hold up, the shape of the petal. This will like cover the wire or secure the wire to the petals. And then for each petal, we have bases. Then we have our sepal. And then we have our center. And then we will have like the coupling cover. It's just a rectangular, object that we will be using to cover our coupling. Petals 1 and 2, we have 18 pieces each. Petal 3, we have 10. And then we have 3 bases for this 2, and then 2 bases for this. First step we're gonna do, we are going to prep our petals. Let us put our centers and sepal aside. Okay, this will be the fun part of the process. Well, define fun. It can be fun, but it can also be the tedious part of the process. Fun because we will be using something it's not really used in paper flower making. Ta-da! We will be using a mortar and a pestle. So I have 2 kinds. So we will figure out what is best to use, a larger one or a smaller one, because before I just used like our mortar and pestle that is kind of like the same size as this. So this kind of is good for like our petal 3, but then for this 2, petal 1 and 2, I was just using like a ceramic like small bowl. It's not really ideal because you might break your bowl if it's ceramics. I also bought this smaller one, so let's see, this will be better. Why don't we take them out? So I think this is like, to make guacamole. Us Filipinos, we use a mortar and pestle to like grind garlic. Honestly, that's what I've been using my mortar and pestle for, to grind garlic. Because we make adobo, or Filipino adobo, a lot. So, that's what I used to do, grind garlic. And then this is the smaller one. So these 2 are almost the same price. I think there's just a $1 difference. You'd think this will be so much cheaper just because it's like, half or like even a third of the size of this. But no, they're almost the same price. This is 6 inches, like I think the inside. This one, 3.75. Oh, it's a different color. And we have, I like this one. Okay. Let's do one of each, so our video won't be very long. The process is a bit simple, so we're just going to attach the wire. I am using a 22 gauge wire. Let us go ahead and put the wire to our petals and cover it with this like base covers, or like backing covers, wire covers. My wire is 14-inch in length. I went ahead and cut the wires for each petal. My wire ended up longer than the wire cover. For the template, I'm going to adjust it like corresponding to the length of wires that I used in this tutorial. But this is like just almost rectangular, so if you need it like shorter or longer, you can easily adjust like this template in your design space or silhouette, cameo silhouette. And if you are hand cutting, you can just like, you know, elongate this a bit or shorten it. It's very easy to adjust even if you're cutting by hand. So yeah, let's go ahead and cover them. This will be the back of the petal. And what I'm gonna do, since this is like shorter, so I'm going to cover like the top part, and this one is okay because this one will be, you know, attached to the base anyway, so, and it will stay attached. Alright, moment of truth. We are going to use our mortar and pestle. So the bigger one, we will definitely be using it for, you know, the larger one. So since the, you know, this will be the backing, so it will go like this. So there, oh my gosh. Yay! So there we go. We have shaped the largest petal. I think this is good for the large petal. So that's for the large one. For the smaller ones, so let's try. Yeah, this is actually not enough. So let us try the smaller one. So this is actually perfect. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so this is good. So both are good. So the smaller mortar and pestle, good for like the petal 1. And let's see if it's gonna be good for petal 2. I think it would be easier if we prep it here first, like the larger bowl or mortar and pestle. Sorry, what's mortar and what is pestle? This might be pestle. I'm going to, you know, Google it, but for now, let's call it bowl. Or M&P, mortar and pestle.
What are those little balls for?
For grinding.
Oh.
Oh my god. This is perfect. Yes, basically this is how we shape our petals using a mortar and a pestle, because it's like if like for a small one we just use like the ball roller and, you know, a foam, but a ball roller wouldn't cut like this size, so that's why we're using a mortar and a pestle. Alright, before I say to stop here and prep your petals, here's my tip. When you have, you know, prepped your petals, petal 1 and 2 can look identical, so it's kind of hard to tell them apart. So I'm actually telling them apart by, you know, the backing. So this one is like the shorter one, this one is the longer one. But I just want to say that make sure that you separate them, because they can get hard to tell from each other. So just make sure that you're able to separate them. Pause this part and let us both work with the rest of the petals. We have, I think, 27 more. But yes, see you on the other side. Alright, we are done prepping the petals. Now that we have separated or segregated the petals and also, of course, prepped them up, added the texture, the curls, the curves, whatever you call them, we are now going to assemble them by sets. That's what the bases are for. We have the smallest base for, of course, the smallest petal. We have the next size for this, and then we have the bigger ones for this one. So we are going to position this. Okay, how do I explain this? When you like put it there, oh my god, it's like my brain is not braining. So up until where it's kind of like flushed like this, or the length of this is like equals to the length of this, that's where you stop. Okay, yeah, so let's do that. We are done with one. Let's just do the same procedure for the rest of the petal ones. Actually, we're also gonna do the same procedure with petal 2. So second, I don't think I mentioned, we're gonna do 3 sets of petal ones. So I am going to put like a guide on what petal set this is, because again, it might get confusing as to like what's 1 and 2. You can tell by the size, but again, they're almost kind of identical, so putting like a number at the bottom would just help. Okay, so we're done with our ones. Let's put them aside. So this is our petal 2. Should be slightly larger. And the base is also slightly larger. So same goes. The guide. I don't want to explain it. But it's like, same length is where you'll stop. So let's go. This is also 3 pieces or 3 sets. Same as petal 1. There. This aside. 2 more sets. Second, and then the last one, third set. Let's mark the bottoms. I mean, it kind of makes sense if you don't, mark it anymore, because it's like the other one is 1, then this one is 2. But, for the sake of like just putting a number, let's also mark this one. last one. Actually, before moving to the last set, let us prep the sepal first. It will make sense why after this, but you know, let's prep the sepal first. Let us do the sepal first. So this is the flap. You know, this one is like the guide on up until where you're gonna close it. This is very tight for the 3 or 0.75 inch. So that's perfect, very snug for a 3/4 inch. Let us attach the sepals. Oh my gosh. Alright. Okay, so our sepal. So the reason why we made our sepal first is we are going to make sure that our base will fit, and also to see how much we can kinda extend or expand our paperboard base. So there's gonna be like more surface that the paperboard can, you know, handle in our paper peony or peony. Okay, so I am just going to trace this, and we are going to expand probably here. It's okay if it's not perfect because we are going to cover it anyway. Okay, so it fits. We are going to trace like a circle in the middle, just eyeball like the center, and we are going to cut this. I am going to cut. I am going to cut like the corners. You need the corners. And then we are going to poke the hole. And we are going to attach this. Okay. And in the meantime, let us set this aside and let's continue building up our flower. Now we are ready to assemble our petal 3. So let's grab one. With our template, we have like lines here for the first one. So we will have 2 sets of petal 3. So for the first one, let's kind of like make it gradual, that it's kind of blooming. So for the first one, we are going to position it like here, and then the second one here, the second line. Okay, so let's position it here first. Okay, I am just testing if this is like the right distance. Okay, so let's continue. And then I am going to pull this up a bit so we can insert this one. So I am going to mark this number 3. So we know that, you know, after 2 this comes in second because it's like, because this will be smaller than the second set of petal 3. Let's go ahead and assemble the last set of petal 3. And we are going to attach the second one, which is here. Alright, so since this is like, you know, a kind of like an addition, we need like a paperboard for the last layer. So I went ahead and made this one, but this will be bigger than our original one. I did not show it, but I made one before. So this one, if you noticed, so we made a larger one that will hold up, you know, this one. So when you make your own, you do not need to add like a paperboard on the second layer. It's just a bit of like a mistake on my side. I need to poke this so that the pipe will go here. Honestly, I'm just going to do that. Yeah, you don't make this part pretty. Again, this is just like a mistake on my part. But just make sure when you attach it, it's like, you know, they're kind of in line. But anyway, so let's go ahead and finish like the third set. So for the third set, we are just going to position it here. And again, follow your guide, your base. Yay, okay. Alright, we are done with the last set. Let's set this aside and we are going to prep our centers. Yeah, so when you take it out, the tips will automatically curl like this. But if your tips are not curled, then we are going to curl it like this. So use something cylindrical. I'm just using a chopstick and then I just curl them, you know, towards one way or one direction. Alright, so let us use this for the start of our center. So you can go ahead and like twist it and then like, you know, curl, continuously curl. But for me, I find it easier to use like something like this, like a chopstick, to kind of hold the tip, the first tip, and then just like roll it around. And then you can go ahead and glue as you go. Though I think it is easiest to just glue like the tip or like the bottom tip. And then we are just going to build as we go. So this is our second. So just follow like where you last left and then just go around. Third one. Oh my gosh, so what is this? This is the fourth one, right? Yeah, fourth one. So what do you think? Is this enough? If you're happy with this, you can, you know, stop here. But I am going to use all of what I prepared. And last, so this is shorter just because my Cricut kind of stopped when my computer went idle, and yeah, so it kind of stopped. So it's shorter, just like cut the piece that was already cut and then just cut off the, you know, the portion that wasn't cut yet. So that's why it's short. You know, we only have like one size for the center, but I'll use this anyway. I don't want to waste it. Alright, so if you want a thicker one than this, feel free to cut more of the center, build up more or attach more, but for now, I'm kind of happy with this. So if you see that it's kind of like pushing up, that's okay as well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put glue here to kind of secure the shape. So it also won't like, you know, push up and unravel itself. That should hold it. And feel free to like open it up. Let us go ahead and assemble our paper peony or peony. This will be our first one. So we are just going to attach our center to the center of the set of petals. So just apply a lot of glue. One of the reasons that we put wire to the petals is that it's very easy to like push it up like this. So we will close like this part a bit. There we go. Let's go ahead and get the second one. Apply lots of glue here at the center. And we are going to position this in between, like the petals of this one in between the petals of the second layer. And then you can also like push this up. So again, the beauty of having the wire. Third one, same. So we used all of our petal ones. Let's go ahead and grab our petal twos. So again, just in between, put it in between. So this one you can close. Let's add the second petal too. And just put in between. Last one. We are done with the petal 1s and 2s. Actually, this alone, you can already use this. So in one of my installations, I realized that the finished one with the petal 3s is a bit big and I needed something smaller. So I ended up using, you know, this size. This size is 12 inches. So you can stop here and use this either as a freestanding flower or a wall flower, or, you know, for your flower walls or wall decoration. But since we are doing the full version, let us continue. Let's go ahead and attach our flowers so far to the first sets of petal 3. So let's go ahead and add or put glue. And put glue In between. Okay, so place in between. There we go. This honestly feels kind of incomplete. That's why I decided we are going to add one more set of petal 3. If this ever happens to you, so I mean, you know, putting like double paperboard. So what I'm going to do to make sure that they are in line is I'm gonna insert this last layer and then insert it here. So that way I'm sure that they are in line. And then I will be placing like hot glue here and then push it up and then close it like that. Let's do that. So let us add the glue here. Position it like this. So that way they are aligned. Ah, isn't that great? But if you did not make that mistake, then you know it will be easier because you just gotta like push the second layer to the third layer. Alright. Now we gotta add the sepal. So the last part. So again, I am reusing a coupling that I already used for a different flower. The template for the cover will be included in the template. So the process is pretty simple, just like wrap it around the coupling. But if you want to see the process, then I will be placing the link here and then the timestamp over here. Just jump into the timestamp and you will see like the process of like wrapping it. Now what we gotta do, so this is our sepal, like version number 2. I will show you version number 1, which uses only 7 like flaps, is smaller, smaller, shorter. I just revised it, so you know when we add it, it's bigger compared to this one. This is way smaller, so bigger is better, some say. We are going to use this. Make sure, you know, when you position it, so it covers the paperboard. So I think it's easier to like put it this way. So just poke it in and then there we go, mark it. We are going to add 0.25. So actually what I'm going to do, because when we put in the coupling with the glue on or the hot glue, there's a tendency for it to not go all the way in. I am just going to add 0.25 here. And this is like the, you know, the length that we are going to cut. But usually the length that I give for like the allowance for the coupling is 0.5. Go ahead and get the cutter and we are going to cut it. Okay, you ready? Let's attach this one here. Let us make sure that, you know, we place a lot of hot glue. I don't know why I placed glue in the middle. It's not going to attach anyway, but yeah, that was stupid of me. There. And then add extra hot glue. So position where you're going to attach your sepal. So feel free to push it down. Then I'm going to attach it like here in the connector. Alright, let's clean up the hot glues. Let's add hot glue here and then we are going to immediately push it down. Okay, moment of truth. Push it down. Alright, so there you go. We have attached it. One thing you can also do is adding the cover like after, so you can adjust, you know, it's not going to be like this where you see like the white of the coupling. That's one of the things that you can also do, but I think this is acceptable. This is the backing. This is our peony. Again, the good thing with having a wire is you can like adjust the position. So like this, feel free to like pull it up. And then pull the second layer up. Feel free to adjust. Alright, so thank you so much for watching the full video tutorial for our paper peony. Yeah, it's kind of hard to pronounce for me. But yeah, so this is our finished version. If you want to see how we made the bases, then click this link. So we have here two versions. The one where we did like 3 sets of petal 3. This one only has like 2 sets of petal 3. So that's why it's kind of smaller. And of course the petals are like, 5 petals less. So the great thing about this, or the fact that we used wire for the petals, is it shouldn't droop. I mean, you have like extra support. So over time, the wires will hold up the petals. Also, you can adjust it, the petals. So if you want it to be extra open, you can just like open up the petals. If you want to, close it more, you can absolutely do that as well. So yeah, that's where the wires are very helpful. Anyway, let me know what you think. I really like how it turned out. Please leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, and also if you have like a feedback, suggestions, stuff like that, so leave a comment. So yeah, again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. So see you in our next video tutorials. Bye.